Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Minh Le here, and this is another video of speedrun. So in the last episode, we went for the Scotch Gambit for white, got a nice win, a nice mid, and obviously a beautiful attack, right? So today we will continue with the series when we will play 10 minutes, no increment, and then I will try to explain my ideas, explain thinking process, and explain, what I can help you to improve. I hope so. Feel free to ask questions, give feedbacks, and give me some ideas that you think I can do in order to make the video get better. Sure? So let's start here right away. No need to wait anymore. Let's go. So here, okay, we got a guy Hunt Maguire. Harry Maguire. So I guess I will play e4 again. I won't go for the so e5. I won't go for the next gambit. This time I will go for, I think, another gambit. I think so. f3 right here. This time I will go for this gambit. d4. The Scotch Gambit. And then this one. This one is the thing I want to go for. Scotch Gambit. This thing is somewhat rarer choice, but somehow it is pretty interesting as well too, and this is actually, I think, quite a typical weapon at high level when white temporarily scrolls its pawn in order to accelerate his development, and that obviously is not that uncommon here, I believe. So here he played h6, which I think is not a bad move at all. He covered g5 and then prevent these ideas in the future. But obviously, it takes him a valuable tempo, right? So let's just castles right here. He can surely play here right away or here right away, which I will mention later on after the game finish. c5, c3. True to the spirit of this variation, I will offer another pawn here in order to go for the attack. Although black is doing fine, but he needs to deal with some sorts of, poor development, which he must be very careful about. Knight a5. This one, I think, is already a step wrong in the direction. Somehow, so here, the knight is misplaced, right? And although he is very passive, black needs to get his pieces out right away. So here, I think the way to play normal is like dc3, and here like queen e7, and here or like this one. I think this is the main way. d3 is also available too, to make sure that white cannot develop his on c3. Okay, so I see the questions like bishop e7 here, which I will mention later on after the game finish. So here I can do various things. At first glance, I'm considering cd4, which I think is completely playable because it chases away the bishop here with tempo, and then it gives me a strong center, right? cd4, knight c4, and then dc5. I think looks very annoying, and I think I can be able to have very good pressure because the knight c4 is somewhat trapped. cd4 is like a move I would do normally, but here in a speedrun, I will try to go for some nice stuff. Bishop f7 is what I want to go for. Sacrifice a bishop, but in the meantime, weaken his king up, and now these squares can become weakening, right? So king f7 on the move, knight e5. Took him again, and my queen now come ready to enjoy the game and get to invade his camp. King e8, queen h5 will be, I think, a deadly mistake. But now I think it's not easy for him here to find a way to finish. King here, queen f3 looks not fun either. King here, I mean, this one, I think he can maybe get away with his development, but I can just win the Meteoro here. I will think as well if I have any ways I can do here rather than winning the rook. So this one is definitely playable, guys. If you're lazy, this one is for you. Win rook here and your attack continues. For me, I will play queen to h5. Stay loyal to my plan. Now my threat is just mating here. This one still exists. his king is still in world trouble. This game may become a massacre. I can feel that. This game can become a massacre. Also now, if I can play here, the bishop on c5 is also hanging, right? So this is a multi-purpose move. Things are looking very troublesome. Queen f6, okay, good choice. So now checks here. Now I have no other choice. This must be tried. But now I can take here with checks, right? And the bishop here is also hanging. So I think I will win more than just an exchange. We'll win, I think, a full rook. Queen here is not fun, isn't it? So king here, nice shot. And then I win the bishop here and win our piece, right? Now we are down a minor piece. But okay, we take the rook back first. Bishop here will fall as a victim very, very soon. And yes, it is. So now we are here officially up a rook, right? With some nice finish. So now we can win by many, many ways. He may play here, cover the knight. Now we just can, finish development, and he resign. Oh my gosh. Once again, a very quick game here, and obviously a massacre. I literally beat my opponent here in just 12 moves. You can see here, right? Just 12 moves. We got a massacre in this Scotch Gambit. As I mentioned earlier, so in the high level, this line is not this dangerous, but somehow in early level, if you don't know how to deal with this kind of gambit, you are in some trouble for sure. So let's get back to the game here, and now this is the time to answer some questions from the audiences. So e4, e5, f3, c6, d4, takes. Okay, all the main thing here, c4. So this is the Scotch Gambit. When white temporarily give up this pawn on the center, good idea to castles early and trying to go for some sort of attack. So here, black has two moves, both available. The first one is bishop c5, and here I think the most common way to play for white is knight to g5, which, if you want to know, you can see the video, I think, on YouTube about the shortest draw in Magnus Carlsen's career, when he offered with it a draw in this exact position. The main line here, I'm pretty sure, is knight to h6, takes, here, 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 and then here, and then d6. Somehow, so what happened here is that, although black pawn structures looks somewhat weakened, but his pieces are more active, right? But here and here and then here, I think is the main thing. White is somewhat slow in development, and also like the king can just hide here and it should be safe. Rook can go here, right? So this is the main line, and it is known to be roughly equal for now. One more line that you can also play for black is knight to f6. And here you have two choices for white. The main thing I think is e5, and you can play d5, should be 5, e4 and d7, both available. Here, for instance, I will show the main line. So castles here. No, wait a second. Knight 4, so knight 4. This is the main line first. I forget. Here, bishop d7, takes, and then castles. And here, black can play bishop e7 or c5 or bishop c5. And this is the main line, I believe. When you play like bishop to e3 and here, and then knight d2, f3, they're both available. Also here, white can play something like castle as well too, which is also completely, I think, a playable try. So the main line is knight e4, rook e1, d5, defend the knight on e4, and attack the bishop on c4 at the same time. So takes, and knight c3, which is a pretty cool idea, because if you take on c3, the queen here is hanging, right? So you can say that, black is getting pinned a little bit here. So black queen in fact can move to literally everywhere. There I think are 4 moves available here. Queen d7, queen a5, queen f5, queen h5, even queen d8, all available. So I think the main idea is like here e4, and you can play here, and then you obtain, I think, once again, an equal game at the end of the day. But black obviously must know some precise moves, right? So earlier I see in the chat that somebody asked that, okay, why can't black not play bishop e7? Which also is the same idea to defend g5, right? But the thing with this move is that it is somewhat passive. So the main line is just like castles, d6 and then knight d4. When white got, I think, a pretty good version of the Philidor defense, when black is somewhat scrambling to have enough space for his pieces, right? Which obviously is a thing here as well. So in this case, white is somewhat better with easier position. In the game, he played a6, which I think is not that, unavailable. But he must be careful here, as I mentioned earlier, because now, although this defends g5, but it takes away one crucial tempo for white. No, for black, I mean. So in the game, castles, g5 in the pawn, fair enough. You can still play here, but once again, it is very passive. c5 here, c3. So here, I want to give away the pawn in order to accelerate my attack. I think here black has two main choices here. You can just take here, I guess so. Knight c3, you play d6, and queen d5 play queen e7 when I think black is doing acceptable. You can also play knight c3 when then black play d6 here as well. When white certainly have some counter play, but I don't know, is it enough for the pawn, to be honest. In the game, I mean, also here d3 is fine if you don't want to accept the pawn. When now the pawn c3 prevent the knight from developing, right? So here and here, when I think black is also doing okay here as well. So in the game, you play knight a5, which is a terrible choice in my opinion, because the knight here is misplaced, and once again, he's down on development, right? So it's not worth it to try to go for this kind of thing. In the game, as I mentioned earlier, cd4 is also very, very nice, because here and here, and then this knight is somewhat trapped, right? b3 can be a threat, queen d4, queen d5, queen d3, all the things here. In the game, I think I opted for a better choice. Bishop f7 here, which is nice. I strike right away to the king. Here knight e5 checks. So now you can see, I think, the negative side of this move, right? When now these light squares are somewhat weakened, isn't it? And he's in big trouble for sure. King e8 here, is that fun? Because now you can play here, I think go for the win here easily, or you can always go for like knight here, right? Winning material and the game. King e6 is on, I think this one probably the best move here. When my plan is to play queen to g4 checks, and I don't know, like queen f5 maybe, I think it's still winning for us, I guess. But I think need to still find a way to go to the end. Maybe b4 is also very strong. Many playable way, right? King f6 also allow queen f3 when things are not so fun either. In the game, opponent play king f8, and then I can play here, win the rook, win back material, and got a good game, but I wanted more. Finish 5. And this is still a threat. This one is a thing as well too. Obviously in chess, there is a famous quote, that if you find something good, you can take some time to find if there can be something better, right? So I think I make that term working, and I'm trying to go for that pretty precisely, which I think is the main thing here, right? So this one here obviously will do us pretty well, I guess. So in the game, he play here, defend up square, but I think here checks again, and win the bishop, right? Here he resign down a rook. If we decide to play on, you can play b6, like queen d4 here, take back the pawn, and now we're up a rook and a pawn. This knight here can simply get away here later on, right? His king is still weak, and I got a huge edge as well. So things are going well for us, isn't it? So anybody have questions? I think the game was pretty smooth. I'm not so sure if there's something that must be explained, because in the game here my opponent he went wrong in the opening. Nothing knight a5 is a mistake, which allow me to capitalize right away with bishop f7, isn't it? This one maybe I think can be considered like, I think, a strong move by me. And then after that, his king side just got wrecked. King f8 can be a try, but then knight a5 can still be a thing, right? When his king is still in big trouble. So here, I think he is already in huge trouble after bishop f7. And I think the game finish is just pretty nice, isn't it? And then also a good attack as well too. Okay, so thank you for listening and hope you enjoy the video. Somehow the game lasts pretty shortly, and once again, I hope that I'm able to explain what I want to explain and tell you guys the ideas that featured in this video. Thank you, and we'll see you in some other videos later on. Peace.